Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Dell and Pete Show, podcast number 2, and today we're talking about whether to go to college or not.
So I think this question comes up a lot, especially around junior and senior year of high school, and it's a very important question to ask yourself, and you got to make sure that you are making the right decision. And there's a lot of pressure with it, but it can be a lot easier if you go about it the right way. One of the best ways in making any big decision that I found very useful is actually sitting down with a piece of paper. Might be kind of old fashioned, but breaking down each option you have, and the reality of it is that you only have about a few different options coming out of high school. We think we have a lot of options, but in reality, it's either college, or you're going straight to the workforce or military. And that's about it. There might be a few other options in there, trade school, but the fact is that there's not a ton of options. And then if you decide that you're going to go to college, then you have to decide on the major and everything like that. It gets a little bit more complicated when you get to that level, but you really want to make sure that you're breaking down each option and figuring out what's the most valuable for you and how you're going to utilize it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sit down with a piece of paper, distribute each one. Write pros and cons. Put the military down. What's pros of the military? What's cons of the military? The college. Price is a very big one. Some people have the money to do it. Some people don't. There's multiple different things out there, and the workforce nowadays, I would say it's very easy to get a job. I think you can agree with me on that.
It
It's
just
very
depends on what
easy.
you're going for. And there's a lot of different options on how to make a lot of money. One thing I want to note is that you don't have to go to the military if you want to do some sort of service. There are other options like volunteering, and you can work for something like the Peace Corps, things like that.
The Red Cross.
Red Cross.
They
And
do volunteer work.
yeah, that gives you options to travel and learn more and experience things. And it would ultimately be free. Obviously, you wouldn't make very much money, but it would be a great way to learn a lot and kind of get a better perspective and
I
experience.
feel like it makes you a better person too. You're
Yeah,
giving back
exactly.
to a community, you're helping
Yeah.
out, and you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing
Yeah.
it for other people.
Yeah,
It
so
makes you feel better about yourself.
It's just another option for people that aren't into whatever war and violence and things like
Yeah,
that.
not a lot of people want to go to college either. I know they get out of high school, they're like, oh man, I'm finally done with school. Oh wait, I got college. Now I got to go to all these
Yeah.
classes. And you got to think college too, very expensive. Some people, the jobs they get, they might be in debt after college, which is a
Yeah.
big thing because they have to get loans and whatnot.
You just got to understand that college is a huge investment, and we don't look at it like that a lot of times. We think it's just the norm, it's standard, it's what we should all do. But in reality, you're looking at 30, 40, 50, sometimes 100 or $200,000 in debt. And that's
Oh, yeah.
something that you really need to consider. It shouldn't scare you away if you know what you're going to do, if you have it all kind of planned out and you have some sort of strategy heading into it. But if you're going in blindly, planning on just kind of trying things out in college and seeing what happens and kind of going about it in a really nonchalant way, that's gonna lead to not only financial issues in the future with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans, but it's also going to lead to a lot of issues in the job field if you don't have a degree that applies to what's coming up in the future.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be so many problems if you don't know what you're doing. That's why we're trying to say, sit down, make a plan, get a piece of paper out, write college, what you want to do with college, find out which colleges have your courses, your main courses, and just they give you extracurricular courses to take, little kind of BS courses that you can take, but you have to do those. And I know my brother took a few of them. He hated them, but he had to do them. Some of them are fun though. You get some graphic design ones that teach you some really cool stuff, like on the computer, how to do stuff. But the main courses, try to find a college that has your main courses. Make sure you know the price. Make sure you have the money to do so. And when you get out of college, once you get a job, how long is it going to take for you to pay off those college debts, those student loans, and you have to think about housing at college, or if you're going to stay home, if you can drive from home to college, or you have to stay on campus.
College should be looked at just like any financial commitment.
Yes.
You're thinking about something that you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on. How are you going to recoup your money, and how are you going to build wealth off of whatever? That's how you
There's
look
so
at it.
many-
If you invest in buying a house to resell it, you're not going to buy it for $100,000 and sell it for $40,000.
No,
It's not
you're
a good
not.
investment. And you're not going to buy it for $100,000 and waste it and throw it away, right?
I
And
hope
that's what
not.
a lot of people do with college
It's a lot of
degrees.
money.
Yeah, nowadays college degree is kind of like having a high school diploma in terms of the job market. Now, obviously, it depends on what you want to do, but if you're chasing money by going to college, there are a lot of options to where you can make 100,000 plus a year outside of college if that's what you want to do. There's a lot of different things. And one thing in particular that I could think of, or actually two things, sales is a great one in order to make 100,000 plus a year. And I know a lot of people that do it. And the other field would be insurance. Anything with insurance sales, insurance adjusting, that all almost pays over $100,000 depending on what you do, but there's a lot of options on how to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So if that's what you're chasing in college, that's a mistake. You should probably.
But we're not saying fray away from college. We're not trying to get
it just
you to not
depends
go to
where
college.
you're going. If you want to become an engineer, you have to go to college. It's just how it works.
Yeah,
but if you want to be an entrepreneur, you shouldn't go to college because they're teaching something that's supposed to be a DNA genetic or whatever you're born with. But I just think there's times to go and there's times not to go. You just have to. It's all about individual case. It's it's kind of what you make of it. If you go into it in the wrong way, you're gonna lose. If you go into the right way, you're gonna win. Just like any investment, that's the exact same way.
What we're saying, you got to go with a plan. You can't just go in wild and out. Just you have to have a set plan for everything.
I got a question for you. Let me hit you with a question.
Hit me with a question, man. I'm ready.
So, what would you do? Because I've heard this question on my other channel a decent amount. For someone who doesn't have a clue of what they want to do, and they want to just get moving in some direction, what would I do? Yeah, what would you
personally? Personally, I would sit down and go over. I mean, you kind of nailed it on the head. Get a piece of paper. Actually, that's what I did do. After high school, I had a set plan. I was like, I had a plan to go to the military. I said, I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna go do this, that, and it kind of got distinguished because some reason.
Why did you decide not to go?
It's just, you got to think, you're leaving your family, you're leaving your friends, you're leaving everyone that you care about behind for, some people can do it. I just decided I couldn't. I mean, 3 months in basic or boot camp, and then once you get back, you're back for 2 weeks, and then you leave again for 4 years. It's just a big step. I wasn't ready to take that step. Some people are. I may be in the future. I feel like I might be, but some people aren't ready to take that step. I just wasn't. But I'm not saying the military is not a bad thing. We need more troops, honestly. We need more people. We need more ballsy people in there. I
think that's a good point, actually. It's okay to change and make adjustments to your strategy and your plan. I think the biggest key is just coming in with a plan, and then you can make adjustments and revise it from there. But what you see a lot of times is people going blindly to these decisions, whether it's to go or not to go, either way. But they go in blindly and then they regret that decision.
Just like college,
it affects them negatively.
Yeah, just like college, you change your major my brother changed his major 3 or 4 times. I mean, you don't stick with the same one, honestly. There's so many people that I think almost every college student have changed their major at least once. At least. Yeah. They have to.
It happens a lot. It's rare that you see someone finish on a timely manner.
It happens more frequently than a lot of people think.
Yeah. But that's an issue that comes up. So if you guys are interested, you guys need any help with your decision, please let me know or let us know, and we can try to help you the best we can. We are both graduated, so we have some perspective on that and understanding. And I can't talk. We both chose not to go to college. I have my reasons. He has his, but ultimately my decision was based upon not wanting to make the financial commitment and the 4-year commitment. We don't always consider time as an investment either, but realistically, if you're spending 4, 5, 6 years in this place, maybe longer, that's a lot of time. And for someone who wants to start a business like myself, what can I build in 6 years that I would or would not be able to build in college? So I had to break down the options for myself.
If you're in college and you need to start a business, I mean, how can you do that in college? You really can't. You have more time.
I mean, of course it depends. I mean, some people do, but the fact is I just didn't see that. I didn't like school either. I just wasn't.
I hated school. I'm with you, man.
I just figured that investment would probably go south on me if I decided to do it. It could happen in the future, but as of now, like I said, I could always change my plan, but as of now, I'm very firm and
I know a lot of people that hated high school, but they love college. I mean, it is completely different.
Exactly. That's why you just need to know yourself, and it's kind of the biggest thing is self-awareness, understanding where you
gotta know what you want, and you have to have goals is what we're saying. You have to have goals. You have to have a plan. You go in not knowing what you're doing. I'm gonna say you're gonna fail. I'm gonna be 100% positive on that. You're gonna fail.
It's just a dangerous way to go.
It's a dangerous gamble.
Yeah. But other than that, guys, if you got, like I said, if you guys have any questions, any
comment below, man.
Anything you guys got for the podcast, any ideas or ways that we can make it better for you, I would love to know. We would love to know, and we'll try to do the best we can to include what you guys are saying and what you guys are asking.
The best of our knowledge to bring it out to you. So hey, guys, like down there and subscribe,
we appreciate
please.
It. Yep. And we'll be uploading constantly for you guys. We're going to try to make the best and most valuable content.
Try to make it every day. We'll have a video, hopefully. So like and subscribe and comment below. Thank you.
See ya.